Hey guys, it's Aprons here, and today I'll be telling you what equipment you need to start making your own skincare or hair care products at home. So stay tuned. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Aprons and I own Charmed Bath & Body. And here on my channel, I do DIY studio vlogs, kind of business tips, more towards Etsy because that's my preferred platform. But for today and the next couple Thursdays, I will be talking about like getting started. Like if you're just a beginner, you're getting started making your own skincare, hair care, or you're just starting a company or just doing my DIYs, what you need to start doing that. So this video is about the equipment you need. The next video will be, I think, where I get my ingredients. The video after that will be where I get my containers, and so on and so forth for the next couple Thursdays. And on Sundays I will be still doing DIY, so keep a lookout for that as well. But first on my list of things would be get a scale. A good scale, a scale that goes to 0.00 grams, because whenever I'm doing a new recipe, I do really small batches, which I learned over time because in the beginning I did it, but I do really small batches, so I do them in grams, and then once I like that recipe, I'll convert it to ounces so that I can do bigger batches of that. So get a good scale. Oh, and everything that I'm talking about will be linked in the description below, unless I got it from Dollar Tree, like the next thing, which is measuring cups and spoons. I got those for like $1, because when I did first start out, I follow like DIY recipes like, oh, 1 cup of this, 2 cups of that, whatever. So get measuring cups and spoons. I still use them now, just not as much as I use my scale. So number 3 would be a hand mixer, an immersion blender, and if you're doing really small batches like testing and stuff like that, you want like a milk frother, because it acts the same as an immersion blender would. Well, kinda. For me it does. So I use my immersion blender whenever I'm doing like soaps, and then like my hand mixer whenever I'm doing like I gotta whip something up like body butter or like that. I think you guys have seen me do it here on the channel. So that's another important thing to get. Next would be like mixing utensils, whether it be like spatulas, which I love because they're so handy. Spoons, like I have little stirring sticks, like little glass stirring sticks that came with my Beakers. Whatever you can mix stuff with. And with mixing stuff, you need something to mix in, so I would recommend getting like Pyrex bowls. I use those a lot here on my channel. I also have metal bowls. I use those for like my body butter because I have to put it in the refrigerator and all that good stuff, and it's easier to melt stuff in like in my metal bowls. I do have a few plastic like measuring things that I got from Dollar Tree, and all the measurements rubbed off, so I use those for whenever I just need a container and I'm actually weighing it. So that's the only time I really use plastic. I don't have any plastic bowls per se. Yeah, so the next thing after that, this goes along with the last one, it's beakers. You don't really need them, but they're handy if you're doing, again, small batches, because it's just easier to clean out. I can put them right on like in the pot of hot water, and I don't have to worry about them bursting or anything, and then I put them in the refrigerator and they just don't take up a lot of space. So I got mine a couple months ago and I've been using them a lot for testing. And with heating things up comes a thermometer, so I definitely say you should get a thermometer. And this is my favorite thermometer because I don't have to stick it in anything, I don't have to clean it, I just have to point it at it, whatever it is, and it'll tell me the temperature. Now these next couple of things may be no-brainers, but I'm gonna say them anyway. So gloves, like latex gloves or something like that, gloves, masks, safety glasses, and aprons. I have 3 aprons, and they have saved a lot of my clothes because I'm quite messy, so I just clean it right off on there. And then like I use my safety glasses whenever I'm making soap. I don't want anything to splash in my eyes. And then gloves I just use for everything. mask I use whenever I'm using like powdered ingredients, because I have had like charcoal, like activated charcoal, because it's so fine. I've had it like get in my nose and I'm not cool with that. So definitely get those things, especially an apron, because, well, especially everything, but an apron saves a lot of stuff. Next would be a book to write in. So I have this book that I got the first day I started Charmed. Well, before I even had a name. All the names that I thought of are scribbled in there as well. So I have all my business ideas, all the ingredients, a lot of DIYs, where I want my business to go. I just have it all in this book. Of course, I do have my ingredients somewhere else as well, just in case I do lose my book, because I do take it back and forth to my full-time job a lot. But yeah, definitely, like when I'm testing stuff, I write down, you know, the characteristics of it. Just, it's an amazing book. It's dirty, but I use the sketchbook because I don't like lines, so it's an amazing thing. And the last thing on the really important things is a microfiber towel. I use this instead of paper towels because I don't like to waste too much stuff, and I do get messy, so it's easier just to clean it up with my bleach water mixture, and then just throw it in the washer with the other towels. So yeah, that's the best I found, because paper towels, I'll just keep using them and throwing them away, which I don't like to have much waste. So these next couple things, they're not really important, but they are nice to have on hand. Funnels may be important actually for a lot of people. They're not really a necessity for me anymore, but if you're like pouring things into like little bottles, then you definitely will want to have a funnel. And it's just, sometimes it's just easier to have a funnel than to try to, you know, not get waste all over the place. Next would be disposable pipettes. I do use disposable when it comes to this, because it's just much better, because like whenever I'm using fragrance or essential oil and I just need a little bit, I just need 3 drops, it's best to use that, because it just is. And then also like preservatives and stuff like that, where I need really small amounts, I definitely like to use the pipettes. So I guess that is a necessity too, but not really if you're not using those type of things, because I didn't get pipettes until like a month ago. So the next thing would be containers for samples or testing. So I have my separate glass containers and whatever else containers for packaging, and then I have certain containers that are just for testing, because I like to write things on the top or on the sides, like what date it was and stuff like that. So you can get them from Amazon or wherever you get your actual product stuff from, and just separate it. Next on the things that are not that important is a heat gun. Like if you're making, if you have anything that you need to shrink wrap, like bath bombs, or if you shrink wrap your soap, you'll definitely want a heat gun. I tried it with a blow dryer, but a heat gun is just much better for shrink wrap and stuff like that. And also impulse sealer or a heat sealer, because those two just go hand in hand for me. So whenever, you know, I'm closing the shrink wrap, just like to clamp it and heat seal it. So lastly, I would say you need like a source of heat. So either like a hot plate, which I use for my DIYs, or a stove, which I use for everything else. So whenever I need to use like a double boiler or something like that, I put it on the stove. I just use a pot of hot water, and then one of my Pyrex bowls or my metal bowls, just set it on top. Yeah. So that concludes my list of equipment that I think you need to start your own skincare or hair care company from home, or just to start doing DIYs and just to have all this stuff handy to do them. Yeah, if I've left anything out, please put it in the comments, because I'm sure I left something out. And if I can think of anything I left out, I will put it in the description box below, along with the links to the stuff that I showed you today, if I can, you know, find it, because some things are gone. But yeah, I will do my best to put everything down there in there for you. Yeah, so if you've gotten this far, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications, and come back next Thursday for the video on, what's the video on next week? It is on, oh, where I get my ingredients from. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. Thanks.